Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing our recent Walt Disney World trip. A recap basically of the whole process and what our trip looked like. So not everything made it in the vlog just because
time.
Yeah, well, just time and just like the aesthetic of the vlog. But then sometimes when we were talking while we were vlogging in the moment, we didn't discuss things that we may have wanted to say. So we just wanted to do a recap and just talk about some different things that may help you out on your next trip and planning to do something similar to what we did.
Yes, so we will start with booking this trip.
Yeah,
which
so
happened like many months before we even took this trip.
Yeah, so I know we booked it before our March trip to Disney, so I'm pretty sure we talked about it in January and actually booked it in February of this year. We knew that we wanted to tent camp at Walt Disney World, and we wanted to celebrate our anniversary. So what better way to tent camp while we're celebrating our anniversary? We also had some trips planned for earlier in the year, and booking a tent camping trip in Florida, you have to be careful of what dates. So it was kind of perfect to do it around our anniversary since we got married in November.
Yes, because tent camping in hot, humid weather is out of the question for me. So November made perfect sense because the weather would be kind of cool, and not so bad.
Yeah, you don't expect it to be just hot. So it could be hot, and it actually was pretty warm for the first couple of days, but we had all the things to make sure that we were comfortable. It did rain a little bit, but our tent was fine. And then the last couple of days we actually had some colder weather come in, so we experienced basically everything other than like a hurricane, which was the week before we came, or anything like that. But we did good, I think. We planned it pretty good.
It worked out well for us. So, but booking it was very easy. We just did it online. We don't ever go through a travel agent, so
No.
we handle everything ourselves.
Well, the reason we don't use a travel agent, honestly, is because we get so much joy out of planning and prepping for a trip. Like, that is something we really enjoy. So we do it ourselves, and we think we do a decent job.
Yeah.
We always enjoy our trips.
Yeah, so we just went online and picked the, you actually have to pick like what size vehicle or tent or whatever you're going to have. So if they put you in the right lot.
So booking a tent is actually a lot easier than booking like an RV or something.
Yeah, like a large RV or a camper. So that was very easy. So you just select what you're bringing to stay at Fort Wilderness Campground. And then I don't think we knew where. No, we didn't know where we was going to be staying until we actually physically checked in.
Yeah, so.
But we do drive. When we go to Florida, we do drive overnight the day before we check in, so we always do as early as possible check in.
Yeah, so yeah, we always drive overnight, and we'll put in, if you look on the check-in, you'll do a pre-check-in. We always do the pre-check-in online before we come down there, so they know that we're going to be getting there super early in the morning. In the last couple of check-ins, we've gotten so lucky.
Yes.
We were notified by like 7 o'clock. Before 7 o'clock.
It was before 7 o'clock.
Yeah, this time. And then last time it was like 5 something in the morning, and we had just pulled up to the resort, and it let us know that our room was ready. So we've gotten pretty lucky. You don't always get lucky. You don't ever know. But if you do the pre-check-in knowing that you're going to be there before a certain time, always... there's a 7 through the day or before 7 a.m. So we always put before 7 a.m. because we'll definitely be there before 7 a.m. So yeah. So
the check-in part, like I said, we did it online before we got there. It was very easy. We just drove into the guard shack, let them know we were there, and then if you know where you're going, you can kind of bypass the other little check-in area.
Yeah.
I had no clue where I was going.
We went straight to that.
So we just went straight to it. They gave us a map, showed us where to go. It was very easy once you got past that to navigate your way around. Got to our site and back then hooked it up. It was perfect. Another thing as far as reserving a stay there is that golf carts are highly recommended if you do not have one or plan on having other means of transportation like bicycle or whatever.
Yeah.
So we did that. Unfortunately, you can't do that online. You have to call. It was probably a 5-minute conversation. Yeah. I mean, there was no wait time for me. I don't know if I got lucky.
Yeah, if you got lucky that day.
I just called, told them where our reservation was, and then they took the credit card, processed it, but they do not charge it until after you drop it off because you may extend it or leave early. So.
Yeah. So mentioning that, I will say we had this trip planned for so long, but we never booked the golf cart until about 2 or 3 weeks out.
Yeah.
And we were so scared that we weren't going to have a spot because this was the week before Thanksgiving. So we figured it was going to be crowded, but luckily Wade got in no time and got us a reservation for the golf cart. But I will mention that I've seen where you can reserve golf carts through other companies that are around the Walt Disney World area, and they will deliver it if you do it a good enough time ahead of time, and they'll bring it to your campsite. So that's a good thing in case you do forget and you're about a week out or so. I'm not really sure how last minute they can do that, but that is another option if they are sold out when you contact them. But also getting back to reserving a campsite, Wade said that we didn't know where we would be. Now, there is some higher price points that you can choose from. You won't know exactly where you'll be, but so the Settlement is probably the top tier spot that you would want to be, and that's going to be in the highest price point. So you're going to be right next to the Settlement, but you're going to pay about $200 a night for a campsite. It could be more than that, but that's about the average. And then the Meadows is in the direct middle, but it has so much, it has the big pool and like the trading post, the bike rental, the canoe rental.
It's the hub.
Yeah, it's basically like the next best thing. And it was about $150 on average to stay there. Now the spot that we got was just over $100. It was basically the base. It had the water hookup. Did it have electrical hookups?
It did.
I can't talk. So I mean, it was your base point. We had other small campers and stuff that was near us, and then other tents, but we were pretty much the furthest out other than the primitive campsite that wasn't actually open, but we enjoyed it. It was only a mile to the front entrance. What is that called?
I don't remember what the front entrance was called, but so basically the campground's broken up into thirds.
Yeah.
The Settlement was just closest to like the dining and stuff, and the boat that'll take you over Magic Kingdom and stuff. Then the Meadows, like she said, which is the hub, the center, and then the bottom third is basically where you come in and check in, and the main bus routes run, stuff like that.
And then like where you would ride the horses over at Tricycle D Ranch. But so we were about a mile to the lobby area and that area, and then we were about a mile to the settlement. So we were about a mile out from anywhere we go. I guess about a half mile to walk if we wanted to go to the Meadows. Yep. So it wasn't a terrible spot. We don't mind walking, but I definitely recommend a golf cart.
Yes.
Because you're not going to want to walk it, and then you're going to sit up at your campsite and do nothing, which I can't do. You may want to do that.
All the time.
No. I'm more of a go person. So let's get to when we checked in. So we got the notification, and we didn't expect to get a notification as early as we did. So we were at an actual Target about 30 minutes outside of Disney World property. So we finished up our Target run and headed over to Fort Wilderness. Wade has already told you the process of us going into the check-in process. If you needed more like something special, you can actually park and go into the lobby and talk to someone if you needed to book something or change something about your reservation. But also, if your reservation is not available at the moment and you arrive, you can pull into the parking spots that they have over there,
Yeah,
and
they
park
overflow.
your camper, truck, RV, whatever, and you can go and do the parks and whatnot until your reservation is ready. So that's a good thing to know. So yeah, we got to our campsite and we set everything up. And about 5 seconds before we were done setting up, it rained.
It poured.
Yes, like Wade had the canopy set up just steps away from the tent, and we had to like take cover for a good 30 minutes to an hour, which was fun. We had snacks, and we didn't really have anything planned for the first day of our trip, so we just relaxed and enjoyed and just prayed that it didn't like rain for the rest of the day, obviously. But we hadn't gotten our golf cart yet. We knew that you couldn't get your golf cart until 1.
I think so.
Yeah, 1 is when you pick up your golf cart for the day, and you have to return it by 11 a.m. the next day, or the day that you check out. So yeah, so we just hung out and relaxed, and I think we freshened up after the rain, because we had drove through the night, so it was time to really freshen up. And then we decided it was lunchtime.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what did we do for lunch? I don't remember.
We went to P&J's Southern Takeout, which is at the settlement. All the restaurants in the fort is at the settlement. So we went to P&J's. It is the quick service there, and we got some really good food. They have a huge menu, and I'd actually like to try some of the other things that they had on the menu. But I got a pulled pork sandwich.
Yes, and I think I got a burger.
You got a burger. Yeah. And it was really, really good, and it was a great way to start our week.
Our vacation.
Our vacation. So, and we ordered water, but the lady must have forgot or whatever, but the Crockett's Tavern is next door, and you can get drinks. And we actually you got a beer.
Probably.
Yeah, you got a beer. You don't even remember.
No.
And I got a virgin pina colada, which was really cool. So after lunch, we decided that it would be fun to get on the boat from the settlement and go over to the Magic Kingdom just to like do something extra. We wanted to get the Disney feels, so we saw the Magic Kingdom from the boat and the monorail, and took the monorail over to the Contemporary and explored a little bit. And then we walked back to the Magic Kingdom, basically boat rided it back over to the fort. It was just like a little outing that we wanted to do. We kind of were excited to see some more of Disney property and get the feels. So it was like a quick boat ride and monorail and walking around, and that's it.
Yeah, it was just kind of to break up the time and
just
explore.
kind of,
We actually ran into some friends. So.
Yeah, we did see our friends at the Contemporary, which is crazy. We knew that they were exploring around Disney property that day, but they were at the boardwalk, and then we saw them in the Contemporary, and we thought that was the coolest thing. So we chatted with them, and then we walked over to the Magic Kingdom to get the boat. And before we got the boat, I popped into a restroom that I'd never popped into before on the outside of Magic Kingdom. And I don't know about you guys, I may be crazy, but Disney restrooms give me the feels. And the restroom on the left in Magic Kingdom, when you first walk in before you get on Main Street,
On the
is
right. Oh, right,
well,
when you walk in.
Yeah, when you walk in, is like my favorite restroom. And this smelled just like that restroom. So I honestly could have spent the rest of the day. I told Wade, I said, man, I could spend the rest of the day here. It wasn't anything fancy, but just the smells. So, But we went back to the fort.
So not much that we did the first day. I will say, since we drove all night, we were very tired, so we did retire to bed early.
Way early. I think it was like 7 o'clock.
Yes. And if you are a light sleeper, which I don't think either one of us are, maybe, but we completely forgot about the fireworks. And when them suckers started going off, holy cow, you want to talk about scared to death.
We just jumped up.
Yeah, so if you've never been before, your first night, just remember that you're very close to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, especially if you're staying in a tent. I'm not sure how well you can, I'm sure you can still hear it in a cabin as well as your RV or camper. But it was pretty intense to be in a tent, and we were sound asleep. I mean, we were probably a good hour to 2 hours into our sleep, and we were awoken abruptly.
Yeah, that's
But
loud booms.
also, you can hear the electrical pageant every night, and it comes through about 9:45 every night. That's about the time that it arrives to the fort at the settlement area. And you can actually watch the fireworks and the electrical pageant from if you can stay up late enough, because apparently we don't know how to. But it comes through, and you can actually hear it singing as well. So just forewarning you, it didn't really bother us. We knew that it was going to be really loud, but yeah, like if we were planning for a race or something, it may be pretty intense to keep you up and not be able to make your 2:30 a.m. wake up call.
Take some melatonin before you go to bed.
Yeah, because it's definitely, you can hear it. So, and it goes on for a good 30-45 minutes.
Yeah. Yep. So day 2, I think that's basically about it.
Yeah, that's day 1. Like, we really just had a chill day. We didn't have anything planned, and the only thing that we set out to get accomplished was get our golf cart, set up our tent, and get some food.
Yeah, and on that first day, you were kind of scared to drive that golf cart. But that changes. Let me go ahead and just tell you, that changes.
So, I haven't drove a golf cart since I was like a preteen. So, yeah, I wasn't really sure what to expect about driving a golf cart. Also, I don't like driving a car often. Wade drives, unless I'm going to work, Wade drives us everywhere. So, I wasn't really interested in it. I just knew that we needed it for transportation around the fort.
Yep.
But Wade had me driving this golf cart, and I took over.
Yeah, and then I didn't get to drive anymore.
Yeah, so we'll get to that when he did get to drive it. But.
So anyways, the next day, which our day 2.
Day 2.
We always woke up very early, which we typically do. Anytime we go to Disney, we are up
5 o'clock.
Super early.
Yeah.
But we made sure that we got up early, that way that we could go and shower and it not be busy in the comfort stations.
But also, sorry to cut you off, but also we woke up super early, I think because of all the time difference stuff. I think we woke up at 3 o'clock that morning to shower.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but we always get up early. Maybe not that early.
No, we were just a little time difference and all that.
But we made sure that we wanted to get to the comfort stations before everybody else started getting up and heading over there. That way we didn't, we didn't have to wait.
No,
and then
we didn't know what to expect. We had never done the comfort stations, so we weren't really sure if they were going to be one of those things where we waited if we went at the peak time, like 6, 7 in the morning. So.
Yeah. And I never had to wait all week.
We showered at multiple different times throughout, like sometimes at 8, 9, 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning. It just was kind of whenever we did. But yeah, so we had no one in the restrooms whenever we did the showers that morning because it was like 3 in the morning, and we had a breakfast reservation
at Trails End.
Yeah, so we've been here a couple of times before for breakfast only.
Yes, only breakfast, and all pre-pandemic.
Yeah,
when it was buffet.
But for some reason, I thought the
buffet was back.
Buffet was back, and I was completely wrong. So we walked into that completely, got sideswiped. It was fine.
Oh yeah,
our service was great.
Yeah.
The atmosphere was fine. It was really, really cold. I was freezing cold. It was like a warm day, and I guess they had the air like full blast. It's all prefix, so they had like a prefix menu. They brought yogurt, parfait, multiple different types of pastries. You could get any type of drink you wanted: soda, coffee, pog juice,
Pioneer juice.
What else?
Yeah, coffee, just
juices, coffee, soda, whatever you would like. And that basically was a part of your meal, but also you got a skillet. I would assume it was a skillet.
Yeah, it was a skillet.
A skillet.
Of food.
It had eggs, bacon, sausage,
Mickey waffles.
Yeah, Mickey waffles, and just some other stuff.
Yeah, I think it had.
Oh, and
potatoes.
some cheesy potatoes, which is actually really good. But I didn't want brisket in my eggs, so I asked, and he had them make fresh eggs for me, which was really nice. And there was something else. I didn't want meat because I don't really eat meat, so I didn't want them to waste that and bring that to me. And he suggested turkey sausage,
Yes.
which wasn't something I really cared for. But it was a very nice suggestion. He went out of his way to try to accommodate me more. But it was really nice. But it was not the
not the Trails Inn we knew.
Experience that we expected. So
and I don't really, as long as PB&J's is open, I don't see how Trails Inn will ever be a buffet style restaurant again.
Yeah, so P&J's is basically where
the buffet was.
Yeah, the buffet was. So I don't really know. I really enjoyed P&J's, but I don't like that it took over Trails Inn's buffet area, because that was really nice. So I don't really know what to expect. Whatever Disney does, they'll do it fine. Like, everything will be good. But right now, Trails Inn is not on the top of our list. It used to be pretty high up there because it was a very affordable breakfast. It was a really nice atmosphere, and
it just never seemed. It seemed like it was a hidden gem. Like, people didn't know much about it.
Yeah.
And plus, if you're not staying somewhere close, it is a hassle to try to get to. But it was well worth it for us.
We definitely don't suggest, if you're not staying on property, to go there currently in the state that it's in. But if you're there and you want to have like a nice sit down restaurant to try something new, I would do it. So after our breakfast, we really wanted to explore the fort. We decided to do the Fort Wilderness Resort Campground tour. So basically we spent the majority of that day riding around the golf cart, looking at the different campsites and the whole resort and campground in its entirety, basically, and did that tour. So that is what we did all day, and it was so fun. We ate like some snacks at the pool bar when we were filming. We played some games, and I don't know.
Talk to guests that spend months there every year.
Yeah, we talked to some different people.
Saw a lot of deer and wildlife.
Yeah, it was a really fun day. That tour was really cool. Had a lot of fun. So we had dinner reservations
at Whispering Canyons Cafe at Wilderness Lodge.
Yeah, so we freshened up and went over to, we took a bus from the settlement, because there's buses over there that you can take into Wilderness Lodge. So
even though, like, from where we were camping, you could easily just take our golf cart over there, because it's not very far at all.
It's all closed off.
You could really walk.
Probably.
So I don't know if they're working on something, but anyways, we had to take the bus over there.
It would be really cool if they
connected,
because they're currently working on the new resort over there, I think. So maybe it's going to connect it all one day. I don't really know why they would allow you to take your golf carts unless they just had like a designated path for golf carts just to go
to and from
the Fort Wilderness or Wilderness Lodge. It's so confusing. But anyways, so we parked our golf cart at the settlement and hopped on a bus to Wilderness Lodge, and it was the end of the day. Sun was going down. It was really beautiful, and that resort is beautiful, like on the outside, but on the inside we got to explore some on the inside. We got there, we walked in, we expected the Christmas tree to be up.
Nope.
Yeah, so
Bummer.
We got bummed out because of the Christmas tree, but that resort is so beautiful. But we wanted to check out the geyser, so we walked through the resort and went to the back. We weren't really sure where the geyser was. We knew that it goes off often, but we didn't know how often it goes off. So we walked to the back. As we were walking outside, we heard the geyser go off.
Just missed it.
We just missed it. We made our way down to the geyser, and it was the most beautiful sunset.
Yeah, the backdrop was
it was
phenomenal.
So
big
beautiful.
Old puffy clouds. And there was still a chance for rain, so that's why it was really cloudy.
Yeah, we stood there for a good 30 minutes and then realized that it goes off every hour.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go off on the hour. It finishes right before the new hour. So
a few minutes before.
About 10 minutes before each hour, you should hop over there if you want to see it. It's really cool, and it goes off for a couple of minutes. You may get sprayed depending on where you're standing, because as Wade, we explored a little bit more on the outside because it's really pretty, but then we walked right over to the geyser as it was about to go off, and Wade was closer to the geyser than I wanted to be because it was wet. It was spraying, the wind was blowing, and then it started raining, and we ran inside, and then we explored the inside of Wilderness Lodge a little bit. We were kind of wet when we went in because of the geyser going off. You were more wet than I was. And then the rain had started, so we were kind of wanting some warmth, but the big fireplace in the lobby was taken up by some people that were sitting there, so we could sit there, but we weren't going to get any warmth from the fireplace. So we decided that we would explore up a little bit more, which we had never done.
Nope.
And we found the cutest little nooks. There's at least 2.
Yeah, there's 2 other fireplaces on the second level and then the third.
Yeah, and then there's all around, even without the fireplaces, there's some cute little seating spots. We sat in one because there was no fireplaces available, but we were just around the corner, and when the people left that were sitting there, we jumped up and got a fireplace, and we got to sit over there for about an hour before our dinner reservations. It was so cozy. I honestly could have spent the rest of the night there. It was really nice.
It was really nice. Yeah.
So anyways, we got lucky, and when dinner was available, we went down and had an experience.
Yeah. Whispering Canyon Cafe at night is fun.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that way around lunch. We've never done lunch there, and we did breakfast later in the week, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the shenanigans that were going on for dinner, I don't know if it was the staff that was working that night or what, but it was really, yeah, it was such a cool experience. My food was fine. I ordered off of the vegan menu. They have skillets that you can order from. There's 5 different, I think it's 5 different skillets. And then you can just order different foods if you didn't want the skillets. But the skillets are like an all-you-can-eat, and they'll bring out as much as you want. It comes with cornbread and slaw, and then you get your skillets. And then she recommended, which we had already planned, to have 2 different skillets between the 2 of us so we can try different things. But I ordered the vegan skillet, and Wade ordered the
some type of meat skillet. I don't know. I don't remember what it was.
I think
called.
it was like your like basic skillet, because there was like a meat skillet that had like the barbecue, and then there was several options, but I ordered the vegan skillet, and it was fine. It wasn't my favorite. The green beans were top notch for sure. And the carrots, the roasted carrots, which actually is not something I really care for. I love carrots, but not cooked carrots. But they were just really nicely charred, and it was really good. Yeah. But your food...
My food was really good.
And my potatoes. I got these little round red potatoes, and they were fire. Like, I ate so many of those in the green beans that I made myself sick. But you had mashed potatoes.
Yeah, my mashed potatoes were good.
You had corn.
My corn was great. And well, honestly,
had,
all
like,
my food
chicken.
was great. Yeah, you liked the chicken.
Yeah,
too.
it was good. So. Chicken, and then
there were some ribs.
Some other stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the meal was really good. You really, really enjoyed your food. And
yeah, too much.
I ate too much of the same small portions of things that I made myself sick. But the shenanigans was honestly worth every penny. Like, if you don't even care for the food, just order something and then just go for the shenanigans. Because you don't have to get a skillet when you go. Like a steak meal and like all kinds of stuff. The kids will love it for sure, but we didn't have any kids with us, and we had a blast. Yep. So yeah, I definitely highly recommend going to dinner at Whispering Canyon Cafe. It's definitely worth going over to Wilderness Lodge for that. Yep. And then when we were done, I think we just hopped on a bus and went
right
back to our campsite and got freshened up to go to sleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Called it a night.
Yeah, we did. We were exhausted. So day 3. So we woke up super early and we got a run in. We were training for a half marathon, and so we had to run a lot on this trip. So we woke up, got us a run in before the sun came up.
Something like that.
Well, the sun came up while we were running. It was really cool. I remember going down, like after I exited our loop, going down the road, and I was on the sidewalk, and then there's no sidewalk on the other side of the road, and there is a deer like galloping, like just I don't even know how to explain it. It was so cool. But he was just coming my way on the other side of the road through the grass, and it was just the coolest experience. He was huge. Yeah, he was huge, but I just thought it was so cool. Yeah. Like the wildlife in general, like we saw turkeys and deer and possums and just like all these cool things. So
yeah, if you definitely run, if you're a runner and like to jog, this is a perfect place to do this.
Or walking, like it's a great place just to get some exercise. Yeah. So anyways, we got us a run in, and then we wanted to have, well, mainly I wanted to have breakfast over at the Polynesian. But Wade is so nice. We got freshened up and went over on the boat from the settlement again and went to the Poly, and we got some breakfast at Captain Cook's, which is actually the first time we've ever had food from Captain Cook's before. I've always wanted to eat there because their food looks really good for a quick service. But we went for the Tonga toast. So this is like the coolest breakfast that you can get. Like it's a very unique breakfast that you can get from the Poly. We've had it at the table service restaurant Kona Cafe before. The only difference between the Kona Cafe Tonga toast and the Captain Cook's Tonga toast is Kona Cafe has a strawberry compote that you can put on your Tonga toast, which I think is amazing. And I was kind of worried that Tonga toast wouldn't be the same without it, but it was so good. It was so good. So I used the syrup instead because I did want something added to it. It's a big piece of brioche. Is it brioche bun? I think it's a brioche bun. Anyways, big piece of toast, and it has bananas stuffed on the inside, rolled in cinnamon sugar, and fried. And it's just so good. Like, it's fluffy on the inside, and the outside's like a harder texture. I don't know.
And I had a breakfast wrap.
Yeah, wait. Well, actually, the reason that I was like, why did you get this breakfast wrap?
Well, I didn't see the entire menu.
Wade is not like a pre-menu looking kind of guy. He just goes with the flow, and he knew that that's what I wanted, so we went there. And he ordered a breakfast burrito, which I've never, in the decade that we've been together, I've never seen him eat a breakfast burrito. And I realized that he did not see the menu. He may like looked over here or over here, and that's all you saw. But yeah, I think you liked it. Yeah, and we actually sat outside by the pool. You could hear the pool, but you couldn't see it, and there was so much foliage, and like it was just a great atmosphere to be a quick service. Also, the Tonga toast at Captain Cook's versus Kona is a completely different price point, so it's way more affordable, and you also don't have to have a reservation, so you can just walk up and get it, which is really nice for us go with the flow type of people. I do recommend going to Kona Cafe because it's a really good restaurant, but if you don't have the option, this was a really great...
It's a good secondary option.
It was definitely... I was happy with it. So we got breakfast, and then we went and did the resort.
Yeah, just toured around the
shops and enjoyed
some Dole Whip.
Yeah, so then we went outside and got some Dole Whip because why not? Yeah, we love Dole Whip. We love the different flavors that they offer, and you got a lime Dole Whip?
I got a lime and vanilla.
Oh yeah, you got a lime and vanilla swirl, and I got the pineapple and vanilla swirl. So yeah, we just sat outside and ate our Dole Whip, and then say goodbye to the Poly and monorailed it back to Magic Kingdom, which the monorail actually broke down.
No, it didn't break down.
Well, it was waiting on something.
Yes, there were. It was stuck, having to wait.
We sat on that monorail for
forever.
Like 30, 40 something minutes. Forever. I'm so glad we didn't have anything else planned. We were just gonna be riding around the golf cart.
That's the risk you take when you jump on the monorail.
Yeah, we almost walked, but it was. I don't know why we didn't walk.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Either way.
So yeah, we got stuck on the monorail. Then we went back to the fort basically.
And really just hung out.
Yeah, we just hung out. I think we did a little golf karting, but I think we just hung out and we didn't film anything. We were just hanging out by our campsite, just enjoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were getting ready for food trucks.
Yeah. So on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, you can do food trucks at the Fort Wilderness Campground. At the settlement, they have local food trucks. There's like 5, and I don't know if they're the same food trucks every time or if they rotate them or what. But there was like 5 food trucks.
Yeah, something like that. I think there's one that's there.
Yeah, the chuck wagon's there every night.
Which has corn dog
nuggets.
By the way.
Ooh, but we never got any. Spoiler alert. But we would definitely.
We know now.
Yeah, we knew. I knew. We just never had the opportunity to do it because of the different things we had going on.
But anyways, yes, so like 5 food trucks.
Yeah. So we were really excited about doing this. We went over there and got different food. So you got a pizza cone.
I got a pizza cone, which was unique.
Yeah, it was pretty unique. And then I got the it was a taco trio from the really taco truck, which those were like, I recommend 10 out of 10. They were so good. And then you went and got us some drinks from Crockett's. So you got a beer and got me a virgin pina colada.
Yeah. Again.
And the food trucks offered like sodas and waters and stuff, but we wanted something a little bit more unique. And then it was basically dark. It was beautifully lit when we first got there, but it was basically dark by the time we got our food, so it was kind of hard to really talk about it and show it off. But then after we finished our food, we there was several options for dessert actually, but we ended up getting a cupcake to split from the cupcake food truck, and it was called Death by Chocolate.
Yes,
which was
I think so. Yeah,
really tasty. I love chocolate. And then after that, I think we went and explored some Christmas lights before
going back to
bed. I swear, we woke up too early on every day of this trip, and we went to bed way early. We did not actually plan to go to bed early that night. We planned to watch the was this the night that we went? Yes, I think it's the night that we went to
oh yeah, we thought that we could go watch the Chippendale sing-along campfire thing, which doesn't happen on that night.
So there's, I think it's Mondays and Tuesdays. They don't have the Chippendale they don't do the sing-along with Chippendale on those 2 nights. So,
but they still do the s'mores
and the movie. So
we like to just because we knew we was coming back, so we just.
Well, we weren't sure if we was ever going to be able to do that, but we definitely didn't want to stick around. We didn't bring s'mores, and we didn't want s'mores, so we decided that we just not do that night, and cut our losses. And then I think we just we were just tired. We didn't want to wait on the fireworks. We were going to go to the beach and watch the fireworks and the electrical pageant, but we were just tired, so we went to sleep. Day 4, like every day we had more stuff planned as we went. So day 4, we woke up. I got a run in, and then you golfed.
I just drove around, looked at wildlife, and picked us up coffee from P&J's. That was like the only place that you could get coffee early.
And you couldn't get it until like 7 or 7:30. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. At P&J's. Yeah, but then if you wanted to wait after that, whatever time the merchandise shop's open, you can get coffee there too.
Okay. But yeah, so like he passed me as I was about to finish my 8-mile run that day. So I called him real quick after he had passed me, and I was like, I'm done. Can you pick me up? Because I was still like probably a quarter of a mile from our campsite loop. So he come pick me up, and we had coffee, and he had my water, and it was just really nice to get escorted back to the campsite. But this day we actually had no reservations for breakfast, but we wanted to, after we freshened up, well, you were already freshened up. After I freshened up after the run, we went to Disney Springs. So, because we normally use our vehicle on our Disney trips because it's just easier and more convenient instead of using the bus service, because we have our vehicle down there.
It's just so much nicer.
We usually do that. But the lucky thing is, Disney has great transportation. So if you are unable to have your vehicle there, or if you have it tie down like we did, our tent was in the back of our truck, so we didn't want to take that off. We could have easily done that, and it'd been an extra 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there to put it back on, but we just didn't want to fool with that. We had our whole suitcases like unloaded in our vehicle.
Either way, we couldn't take our vehicle.
We couldn't take our truck, so we used the transportation anytime we did anything for the week. So we golf carted over to the front entrance and got a bus to Disney Springs, and we actually got to Disney Springs like as it was opening, so that was really nice, because we didn't think that we were, because I was kind of running a little bit later than I thought. I ran a little bit longer than I thought that day, so we expected to get to Disney Springs before it opened. And with the bus system, you never know how long it's gonna take, and we got there like as it was opening, so it was perfect. But yeah, so we didn't have anything planned for breakfast, but we did have something in mind. So we have never had Everglazed, and it's been there for a couple of years now. So we decided, since we've never had it, we would try it. So donuts and cold brews it was.
Yep.
So that was really tasty. Though we say that the cold brews at Gideon's is better.
I liked it a little bit better.
Yeah, that's usually where we get cold brews and stuff in Disney Springs, but we tried something different, and it was really nice. I really liked the donuts, but I always, when we're in Florida and we're having donuts, I always go back to Voodoo Donuts over at City Walk.
Yeah,
those are so good, but these are very close to Voodoo Donuts, I think.
I like my donuts. So.
Yeah, I loved the donut. It had a little bit too much of the cream on the inside, but like the fluffiness and the way the donut was made, I felt like it was very similar to Voodoo Donuts, so I liked it. It was a really good option. And then we just walked around.
We just did the same thing that we normally do when we go to Disney Springs.
Like peek in some of the shops and just
people watch.
Yeah, people watch. And there was the tree trail. So the tree trail is spread out through the springs. It used to be in one little spot in the corner. And then since the pandemic happened, they put it everywhere.
Which I like it.
I really like it the way that they have it. And that was the first time we've seen it like that. After I saw two trees, I realized the tree trail is not in the same spot anymore. It's everywhere. So it was really cool. So we saw a good portion of the trees, and we ended up getting lunch at Disney Springs before we left.
Oh, yes.
And this was
okay.
So this day, if you didn't know, was absolutely a day of firsts. Like so many firsts we did that day. So it was the first time at Everglazed, and then it was the first time not eating something from Earl of Sandwich,
but eating something
from Earl of Sandwich. So we've had, like, Wade picked up macaroni and cheese one time when we were staying at a Disney Springs resort or a hotel near Disney Springs while we were on a Disney trip. I was tired, and Wade picked me up some macaroni and cheese so I could have some dinner, and that's basically the only thing we've ever had from Earl of Sandwich, but we've heard some great things. So of course I had to get the holiday turkey, and you got the Cuban without pickles, because Wade doesn't eat pickles.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Like, in an explosion of deliciousness. It was the week before Thanksgiving, and I had that holiday turkey, which I probably would have tried that no matter what time of year it was. But it was perfect.
It
like
was really good.
It was so good. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
Yeah. So after that, we was on our way out from Disney Springs to get back on the bus, and we saw a band that was playing on the concert, a jazz band.
It was a high school. It was a local high school, and they won their way to something and performed, and it was.
Yeah, it was. They were rocking. That was pretty freaking awesome.
They definitely did not sound like a high school band.
No, not at all.
Yeah, they were really good. Yeah. So that was really cool. We actually was walking out, and we ended up sitting and watching almost the whole show. But yeah, so.
Yeah, and then we hit the bus and came back.
Yeah, we went back to the fort and relaxed for just a short period of time. Got ready, and we had Hope to Do review planned for the night. So we booked this 60 days in advance, like you're able to. And I barely, like that morning, I did not wake up early enough. The time difference were an hour behind what time it was, like we were behind.
Yeah, there's an hour difference.
Yeah, there's an hour difference. So I was definitely behind. I didn't wake up super early that morning. I woke up and like got on the computer and realized I probably should have done this about an hour or two before, because I almost didn't get us a reservation for Hoop Do for the day, like for the week. We didn't get it for the day that we originally planned when we planned out the trip. So I just had to move things around.
It worked out.
Yeah, so we had planned to get so they have 3 tiers that you can book Hoop Do. So the first tier, obviously, it's about $10-12 difference for each different seating tier, and obviously the first tier is the best tier. You're gonna have the best seat in the restaurant because it's a dinner show.
No.
Well, I think so. You are not gonna have anybody in front of you, basically. But the second tier wasn't terrible. And then the third tier, I don't know if the third tier was up in the top and maybe underneath the, like a little bit further back. Yeah, underneath the second level. I'm not really sure how that was, but we had amazing seats.
Yeah, we had perfect.
Like, we walked in and we were like, wow.
Yeah. So we had a reservation for 4.
Yeah, we had a reservation for 4.
It was us and then our friends John and Corey.
Yeah, because when we were here back in the summer, we were talking to our friends and they said they would love to do it.
Because they'd never been either.
They had never been. They're locals. And we said, well, we're planning a trip and we're going to obviously do it because we're staying at the fort. So we decided that we would all go. It was our first trip, but last minute, Corey's sister came into town.
Yeah, Corey's sister was coming into town, and we tried. I called before we left to see if we could get her added to the table.
About a week before.
And the guy on the telephone said that no, unfortunately. But he told me to check back closer to our reservation. So that morning I'd actually, or that afternoon when we got back from Disney Springs, I'd actually went and talked to someone, and he thought it was doable.
Depending on our seats, yeah.
Then he went to go talk to the people that were sitting, and they basically told him, we're not worried about the 8 o'clock showing that we were reserved for. They were more worried about the showing that they were trying to sit at the moment.
Yeah.
So they asked me to come back when it was closer to time for us to be sat.
So basically you check in 30 minutes before your reservation time. So they basically wanted her to show up at that time to see if she can even be a part of it, which kind of
you take a risk because unfortunately they weren't able to sit her based on where we were sitting, and I understood why once we got in there.
For sure.
So one thing I will say, because you were talking about you need to get there 30 minutes early, it doesn't matter if you check in online, you still have to wait in line to get a ticket so that they know where to seat you. There was a lot of people that didn't understand that, and there was a couple of people that was they just was a little disgruntled. They were like, because I've already checked in, why do I got to stand in line?
Yeah, so definitely. And also, if you're going to the fort just to eat at Hoop Do, give yourself another get yourself there an hour before check-in.
Oh, without a doubt.
So because obviously there's plenty of things that you can do and see while you're waiting, but it takes so long to get over there if you're going with Disney transportation or just a park. and to get over there on the Disney transportation, because you can't just park right next to the settlement. So you're going to have to like take multiple means of transportation to get there.
It's not an easy get to.
So, yeah, but...
Before we even went to the Hoop-Dee-Doo review.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Okay, so we met our friends at the parking lot in the front by the lobby. And we had our golf cart and we picked them up. So Corey's sister came. She enjoyed all the activities. She just did not get to have dinner with us. But we got in the golf cart and it was exactly like 5 minutes before the
Chip 'n Dale
sing-along campfire was happening. So we got in, realized that was happening. So we booked it to the Meadows and went over to the sing-along, and we had so much fun. I don't know if it was because we had friends with us or what, but the sing-along was so cool. Chip 'n Dale was fun, and then you can like participate, and he wants you to sing, and he tells jokes, and it was just like a really fun thing.
Yeah, not Chip 'n Dale.
No, there's a
Cowboy John.
There's a cowboy, Cowboy John. He tells jokes and he sings. Chip 'n Dale comes out and dances and like
participates in his jokes.
He participates. They participate, and then at the end you kind of do like the little dance with Chip 'n Dale. So it was really cute. That took about 30 minutes of our time.
Yeah, something like that.
30, 40 minutes. It was a fun experience. And I definitely feel like if you're there, you should do it.
Oh, without a doubt.
Just know that Monday and Tuesday, they do not do the Chip 'n Dale sing-along. So I'll plan it for a different day. But yeah, so we did that. And then when we were done, we checked out the Mercantile with our friends, and then it was time to go check in for dinner. So when we walked in, we were amazed that our seats were where they were, because we were like in the middle.
It was perfect.
Halfway through, like
it seemed like it was the main walkway.
Yeah.
For all of the Pioneer cast.
Yeah, so the cast kept coming through and talking, but we were just like in the front. We weren't all the way in the back. We weren't all the way in the front. We were just in the middle, but like dead center. Like not, I don't know. It was just perfect. So yeah, we were excited about that. The chairs were swivel chairs because it's a show and you have to like move around. So we thought that was really cool. And then when we sat down, like there was already like food sitting there waiting on us, a salad and like just different stuff. But they were, so it's a 2-hour show and they are like booking it, making sure that everything works out the way they want it to work out. But also you're not eating while the show is going on for the most part. I think you'll have to eat dessert while the show is going on. And if you have someone participating in the show like we did, we had to eat our dessert like super quick, because 5 minutes after you had sat down, maybe not even that long, after you had come back, they were
get gone.
They were telling us to go, not in that way, but it was basically like, okay, it's over, it's done. And we had to eat our our dessert really quick.
Yeah, so this is an all-you-can-eat family style thing again.
But you're like, we were so in the moment, like we didn't really ask for much extra.
There's a lot going on. Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, the food was fine.
And
it wasn't like amazing or anything.
And one thing I like about this also is there are certain beverages that are bottomless. So like some beer, sangria,
and wine, I think.
And maybe wine, but then there's some that you have to pay for.
Yeah, and then sodas and water, obviously.
And like I know I got a beer and she gave me my glass and the pitcher, which was a small pitcher, but it was probably about 2 more glasses. Yeah. And she just made sure that thing was always filled. It was nice. Yeah,
it was a really fun experience. So they had like a show going on, and then you would eat, and then so you would have servers walking in front of you. For the most part, at some points you would, but for the most part, they have like spots where they're entertaining you while you're eating, but there's not like a big show. The lights aren't out when you're eating. So we thought it was the breakup for the whole show, and the eating portion was really nice.
Yeah, I never felt like while I was eating I was missing something.
No.
But when we did get there, though, I was like, how in the world am I going to watch this and eat at the same time? And then we
were filming, so we were trying to get Instagram shots. We were trying to get, obviously, for the vlog, for the experience, but then also we were trying to eat and do the show. It was a lot, but at the same time, like, I probably would have drank an extra beer if I wasn't filming and all that, but honestly, I don't feel like I missed out much. So it was a really good, the way they did it was really nice. I didn't want to be overwhelmed, and I get overwhelmed pretty easy, and I didn't get overwhelmed, so that was really nice.
Yep.
Oh, and also Wade and I participated. We danced. It was kind of embarrassing, but yeah. And then he obviously got on stage and did. He was the Wilderness Scout, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, we just had like the best experience. And then after dinner, we got with our friends and
just toured the lots. And
yeah,
saw
so the Christmas lights.
Christmas stuff.
Yeah, we showed them around the campground because they had actually never been to Fort Wilderness Campground. So we kind of showed them around some of the loops and the Christmas decorations, and got to do that for a little bit. And then of course they left and we went to sleep.
Yeah. And that's when it started getting chilly.
Okay, so day 5, we woke up and we weren't really sure that we were going to be hungry for our breakfast reservation because we had so much food the night before. But somehow we were. We were actually kind of hungry.
Yeah.
And we had breakfast at Whispering Canyon.
Again.
So we went and busted over to Wilderness Lodge and had breakfast.
Completely different than, that's
Yeah,
what we were
so
saying.
it
It was
was
completely
like-
different from dinner. It was actually not
was-
many people at all in there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's such a large restaurant. There was a lot of people, but it wasn't crowded, and we didn't even have anybody over near us. And we got to view Wilderness Lodge
Lobby.
Unfortunately, the tree was
Still
not
there.
up. But we did talk to someone after breakfast when we was talking about the tree. He worked there, and he mentioned, which was a very logical answer. He mentioned that because of the hurricane that was in the week before we came,
It pushed everything
it pushed
back
all
a week.
of the resort's decorations. There was like the resorts were decorated somewhat, but their trees were not up. They're so big that they, I guess, needed that extra time because they missed out.
Oh yeah, and we failed to mention also
Oh, yeah.
that the day before, our 4th day,
Yeah,
when Samantha was running,
they were
actually
finishing-
putting up the garland
Yeah, they were
on
finishing
Pioneer
up.
Hall, and they had already had the tree up.
So I was running at one point close back behind the meadows where the dog park is. I was running back there, and I realized it was still dark a little bit, and I was like, I don't remember seeing this garland and the lights. And I was like, what? And it was on some of the bus depots. And then when we come up to the front, Wade was up there filming some stuff, and I realized that they were decorating like the front entrance. So the big tree was up. He got me running by the tree, and then they were putting up the finishing touches of like the garland and stuff around, and it was so cool because halfway through our trip, it was Christmas at the fort, which was really neat. It was already Christmas at the fort because of all the different campsites that had decorated for Thanksgiving and Christmas, but it was officially Christmas at the fort because the tree was up and all of the decorations was out.
To
so
Disney
we
standards.
forgot to mention that. But back to
breakfast
the next day. The guy was telling us that the tree probably wasn't up because of that. So, and I think the week after we left, they put the tree up
and it made
at
sense.
all of the resorts. But that definitely made sense because of the hurricane. It kind of got pushed back. So anyways, breakfast was a little bit more chill. There was some shenanigans.
Major chill.
But it was really chill, which we really
Needed,
honestly, that day.
Yes.
So it was perfect. We sat kind of by ourselves, could see the Wilderness Lodge lobby, and then we could like kind of experience what was going on, but kind of to the side. So obviously the catch-up shenanigans was going on full blast, and anytime anyone needed ketchup, the same kids from the same table just would run it back and forth. So normally, if you ask for ketchup, the person that asked for it before their table brings it to you, and then if someone asks for it after you have to bring it to them, and so forth. So it just kind of goes down the line. But the same kids just kept grabbing it from one table and bringing it to another table and then doing it. So they just wanted to be a part of the whole show. So it was really cute, but we had a relaxing time. I ordered a skillet. We both ordered skillets this morning, but I got the lighter side skillet, which was not vegan, but it was not heavy, which was really good. I really enjoyed that option. And then you got the
like a traditional breakfast.
Yeah, the traditional breakfast. So it had like the meats and stuff with it. So yeah, we really enjoyed the breakfast, and it was actually like a fair price for what we got. So and then afterwards we explored the inside of the lobby and hung out by the fireplace down in the main lobby. I can't talk. And then we went upstairs, and we did not know that you could go out on the different balconies. So we checked those out. And then we really wanted to hit up the geyser while it was sunny and bright. So we went out around the time that we expected it to go out off this time. We kind of
saw it.
We're in the know. So we saw it. It was pretty, yeah. And we just walked around. We looked at the cabins that they have out there, which is a dream.
Yeah.
A dream. Yeah, and then I think we just headed back to the fort after that.
Head back to the fort, relaxed until we got ready to do the...
No, we relaxed, but then I got a run in. Like, I had to force myself to get a run in after because I couldn't get one in before breakfast. Didn't want to wake up too early for that. So we did stay out pretty late the night before. So it was a really nice, since it was cooler, the middle of the day running was actually really nice. So I got to run in, and yeah, we relaxed. I think we might have even got a nap in.
Yeah, I think you're right. And then we got ready for the monorail loop. We wanted to go see all the Christmas stuff.
So we wanted to do the monorail loop, but because we had already seen the Poly, and it wasn't really decorated, we ended up not doing the Poly that day. So we went straight to the Grand, and that resort is just beautiful. But at Christmas time, it is extra beautiful. And we just took in the sights. Of course, the tree was not up.
But the gingerbread house was?
Yeah, so they have a life-size gingerbread house, if you did not know. It is completely edible. Everything that is decorated with is edible. And it is something special to look at, even if you don't want to buy anything. So there's people set up inside that you can buy treats that are made out of chocolates and gingerbread and whatnot. They have tons of stuff. And you can get in line and buy treats from out of the inside of it. But if you don't even want to buy a treat, it's so beautiful just to go look at. And you can smell the gingerbread because it's made out of gingerbread. So it's really cool. We did end up getting a treat. We got a gingerbread shingle with the dark chocolate dipped on the back, and like that was a mistake. We did not try our treats this day, but I'm just gonna give you a spoiler. It's probably too late to get a gingerbread this year, and it could have just been the day that we got this, because we've gotten this treat in years past, like at a different point several years ago, and I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't like amazing or anything. I don't remember it being out of this world, but I remember it being good, and this was not good. It was dry, and it had a weird texture.
Almost
the chocolate was
like a spongy texture.
It was really weird. It was like a hard, dry, spongy gingerbread, and it did not taste good. And the chocolate was the only part on it that was really good, and it was dark chocolate, so I like dark chocolate, but that was like the only thing that was good on it. And it was almost $12, so it was a pricey, bad gingerbread shingle. But the experience was great. So once we were done with the Grand Floridian, checking it out, taking in all the feels and smells, we monorailed it over to the Contemporary, which was really fun because we took in some of the Christmas stuff. We had already been to the Contemporary earlier in the week, like we said, but we never checked out the gingerbread house. So they have a gingerbread house too. It's not as amazing as the one at the Grand, but it is pretty cool. It's really large as well, and they theme it a little bit different every year. So it was the 50th anniversary theme, I think, this year.
Sounds about right.
I can't remember. I'm not 100% sure. But it was really pretty. And then we got a treat from there as well, and it was a chocolate peppermint cookie.
It was fantastic.
It was half the price, and it was amazing.
It
like,
was really good.
I wish we would have got like 3 of those. So it was really good. And if you go there next year, get you one. Just pass on the gingerbread shingle. It was really good. They had gingerbread shingles there as well, but yeah, so we checked out some of the Christmas stuff, and we also have never went out on the balcony where you could watch the fireworks from the balcony over there, and then like the monorail and stuff. And we took in some of the monorail sites, and you can see Space Mountain lit up, and it was just really cool. So we hung out and did that and explored the resort a bit, and we had dinner reservations. So that was the reason we planned all of this around that, because we had dinner reservations at the Contemporary.
Yes, we did.
Another first. We ate dinner at
Steakhouse 71.
Yeah, so we had it was a little bit later of reservations because I didn't know how the day was going to go. So I planned this obviously 60 days in advance, and we could have probably done it around 7 instead of 8.
It worked out.
8:30, whatever time that we booked it.
Yeah.
So we had reservations at Steakhouse 71, and honestly, we didn't think the experience was going to be all that great because our waiter was
very attentive to
other
other
people,
tables.
but not us. He didn't even want to hear us talk. But he got better. So I don't really know what happened, or if he was just going through something at the moment, or whatever he was trying to do, or he was just overwhelmed. I don't know, but we thought it was going to be a bad experience, and it was definitely not. So we sat at a table, and it was a 2-person table, and it probably wasn't the best seating either. Just, I don't know, we felt like we were really close to the kitchen, and it would have been, I think, a better experience because if we sat in a booth or a table kind of further away from the area that we were in. But it still was a really nice restaurant. It was a really nice dinner. We had steak and this 15-layer chocolate cake that we had no stomach for, but we ordered it anyways because
it was really good.
That is what I've been eyeing, that, the steak and the bread. The bread that you have to order the bread. It doesn't come with it. It was a bit pricey of a meal, but honestly, a Disney steakhouse, we didn't spend too terrible of amount of money. And we even got an extra side. We got dessert, appetizer, an extra side, and our meals, and it wasn't that bad. So yeah, we really enjoyed that experience. We were all dressed up, and we just had a really good time. And I think after that we walked to the Magic Kingdom and then got on a so freezing boat ride back to the fort. And the electrical pageant was just starting as we were getting up to the dock at the fort. It was really cool. So we got to see a little bit of the show. And then we golf carted it because it was so cold. We had to golf cart it back to our campsite. So yeah.
And get ready for a really long day.
The next day. So day 6.
Day 6,
we did Epcot.
Yeah, it's the only day that we went to a park.
Yeah. So originally when we booked this trip, I could not get... you have to book the campsites really far out in advance because it gets booked up, especially in peak season. So I'm sure the summer is probably not too terrible to get a campsite. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I've never done it. But I was only able to get 5 nights booked, so we would be checking out on Friday morning. But later on, months later, I ended up getting us an extra night so we could check out on Saturday. Our anniversary was Friday, so I didn't want to check out on our anniversary. That's the only way that we could get it booked. Ended up working out. We extended the trip by a day. So later on, we decided that if we had it in the budget,
we needed to go to Epcot.
Yeah, we needed to do a park.
And we both agreed on which park to go to. We didn't even have to debate it.
No, we didn't have to fight over it. Epcot is the park. For us anyways. So he said, if it's in the budget, can we do a park? And I was like, of course we have to make it a part of the budget now because you asked for it. We extended the day, and we could have either went to a really nice restaurant and spent about the same amount of money, or we could have just did a day at Epcot. So it was kind of pricey to do a 1-day park ticket. It's been a while since we've done something like that, and it was honestly way too expensive. It was $320 for 2 of us to do 1 park day. No park hoppers, no anything extra, just basic tickets.
Admission.
Yeah, and the sad thing is tickets have went up since that day, so that's really sad. So we had a full day at Epcot. We actually, we drove our golf cart and dropped it off because we didn't need it for this day, so there was no point in paying $65 for our golf cart for us to be checking out the next morning. So we dropped it off and turned it in. So, and then we got the bus, which was right next door, and we didn't expect to get to Epcot as early as we did. So you have to plan in advance for buses because you're going to think you may miss it. You have to sit there for 45 minutes or, 15 to 20 minutes and then like a 15 to 20 minute drive. It could be an hour before we're at the park. So somehow we looked up and we walked over there and the bus was about to pull away. We got on the bus. We got dropped off at Epcot as Wade was doing his 7 o'clock boarding group for Guardians. Wade's really good about getting those, so we always leave it up to him to get them because he usually scores them at Universal and Disney. Usually scores those for us really good. So he was doing that as we were walking off the bus, and we honestly got worried. Were you scared?
A little bit.
Yeah.
You're always scared.
Well, yeah, you were scared, but like when you got it, you weren't even 100% sure you got it because it went away.
Yeah.
So it was a little nerve-wracking, but we figured that out. And yeah, we were at the park at 7 o'clock. It did not open up for resort guests until 8, so we had a good hour. We planned that they would allow us to go in to at least by the Epcot ball, like where the fountain and stuff is, and maybe take pictures and do whatnot. Like that's usually what they'll do for rope drop. They'll let you in at least in 30 minutes early. Like you'll stand there for 30 minutes and they'll let you in, and then you hang out there for 30 more minutes. That's not how rope drop works anymore. So we stood there for an hour way away from any of that. So we couldn't get pictures or anything. We just stood there in the freezing. Yeah,
it was cold.
Freezing cold. And waited in a line before we could go up and get into Epcot. And then immediately you walk in, you get funneled around the special berth. So the picture thing and all that didn't work out, but so we probably could have arrived at least 30 minutes to an hour later, but
yeah, and I don't like the way that they do this extra magic hour stuff anymore because they let you in early, but then they hold you up.
Yeah.
And then you have to wait again to go somewhere else.
Yeah, so like they let us in and then we went back to
stood in another line
and then waited there forever.
And then
they should just
let you go where you're gonna go.
I don't know. Yeah, go where you want to go and then stand in that line. It wasn't my favorite, especially since we couldn't just stand there at least in the entrance and just do like a normal rope drop, like how they used to do it.
There's no such thing as rope drop anymore.
Yeah, it's not the same, but it was fine. Like once we basically got out of all the lines and we walked over, we were gonna rope drop Frozen. But we walked over there and they were already saying that it was down, it wasn't ready, and we immediately just started walking towards France because there's not much open that early in the morning, so you don't have options. So we were we never decided what we were going to have for breakfast that morning, and then we started walking to France, and Ratatouille apparently was down, so we just assumed that breakfast was just going to be in France. That used to be my favorite place. Since this trip, it's kind of made it not my favorite place anymore.
But the bad thing is, this is the only place.
No, it's not.
I know it's not,
I would have went in Norway. I honestly wish we would have just stood in the line for Frozen that morning. Did Frozen. It would have probably only taken 15 to 20 minutes for it to come up, and then done the bakery in Norway. But it just all happened at once. That was down, so we just kept walking. We go into France. Apparently Ratatouille is down, so we were like, okay, we'll just go to the bakery back there in France. That's where I like to eat breakfast. We were like the second people in. We stood in line for this to open. We were the second people in, and they did not have the pastry that I go there to get out. So I immediately ordered something different. It wasn't new, but it didn't taste as good as it used to taste. So that was kind of a bummer. You got a sandwich and it was fine.
Yeah, the coffee was
the coffee was absolute garbage. But it made me so sad because they had already had our stuff toasting and they put the pastry out that I normally order. And I was like, if I just would have waited seconds, I could have gotten what I wanted, and it probably would have been a different experience, at least for me.
Yeah.
And then the coffee, like, I put so much creamer and sugar in this coffee to try to make it taste good. And then I will be one person that will just eat it or drink it.
Not this.
That was so bad that I said, babe, we're going to have to throw this out. And we went to Joffrey's immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Threw that out, went to Joffrey's, got us some good coffee. And then we decided that since things were kind of not going the way that we planned, Wade decided that we were going to make some Instagram reels and shorts.
Yeah, because everybody was standing in line and nobody was in the World Showcase.
Yeah.
Like in...
Which is typical World Showcase fashion.
It was nice to go into each one of these pavilions and then nobody be there.
So
and
we had our coffee.
And all that stuff.
It was really cold, but the sun was coming out, so it wasn't terrible. No. And then the World Showcase was basically empty unless you were in Norway or unless you were in France. So we got some pretty fun, like, little video of us doing that, and then just enjoyed taking in some of the sights, because the pavilions, if you've never just really explored the pavilions without people in them, you'll see stuff like really at night. It's really fun too. But in the morning time, it's really cool. So,
but anyways, we did that, and then we decided that we would start heading back up to the front.
Yeah. And
we went to the Land Pavilion.
And rode Soarin'.
Yeah. And was going to stand in line to ride Living with the Land, but it was a little too long.
20-minute wait.
So we decided to leave and go to Finding Nemo.
Yeah, because it was a 5-minute wait.
Yeah, and we did that. This whole time, Spaceship Earth is down. Add that to the list of rides that were not working.
Yeah, there was a lot of rides down that day, throughout the day. So then Figment, we wanted to do Figment this day. We hadn't done Figment in a while. So it was like a 10-minute wait, so we went and did that. So we hung out in the aquarium, did Figment. Then we decided, instead of leaving, let's just go over and see if the land, Living with the Land was back, like, down to a smaller. Of course, when we walk over there, it is no line. And then they funneled all of the people in for Lightning Lane, and we waited probably 15 to 20 minutes just to get on that ride. And it was a little annoying because this day it was so cold outside that they had gotten it so warm in the buildings.
Oh, yes.
That we kept getting, like, no air circulation in spots, and it was kind of intense. But it was fun. We really enjoy Living with the Land, so it was worth the 20-minute wait that we waited. It just got really hot. And then after that,
we started exploring.
We were hungry. Yeah, we were really hungry, so we went straight over and got fish and chips.
Oh yeah, went to Yorkshire.
Yeah. So, and Wayne got a beer.
No, not Yorkshire.
Yorkshire. For our friends from the UK, they have schooled us on that. We say it wrong, so we'll have to fix that.
Yes, and those I always loved the fish and chips from there and the beer. And then I think in March when we went, they had stopped doing the 2 pieces and did one big fat piece, which was okay. But
we went back and got water later that day, and the fish was actually one giant piece. So I think it just depends. Lucky. I really think it depends on the time of day, like what they have in stock.
Oh, and as the day kept going, it got busy.
It was the day before Food and Wine ended. So the Food and Wine spots were kind of hard to hit. Later in the day, we did hit some.
Numerous.
Yeah. And then it was Mickey's 94th birthday. It was our anniversary. And then it's the week before Thanksgiving. So it's kind of like everybody was coming into the theme parks probably that weekend. So yeah, but we had such a good day. We did a photo spot. If you have a Visa Chase card, you can get a special photo spot in Epcot, and it's over there by Figment. We had never actually took that opportunity to do anything like that, but since photos are back and character meet and greets are back, we did it. Though it was kind of intense with the heat.
Oh, man.
That place was hot, and it has you to where there's no airflow. So until you get to the character spot, there's no airflow. Yeah. And I was a little annoyed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We got to see Mickey on his birthday. Goofy was there.
And we had nothing
took a photo. To do. Yeah, we didn't have anything else to do, like anything planned. We were waiting on our Guardians boarding group to come, and I actually think as soon as we left out of there, we actually got the notification that Guardians was ready for us. Oh, I forgot earlier when we had our fish and chips, we went to the Italy Pavilion and got ice cream or gelato, and we've never gotten gelato from that spot, and it is so good. Very high quality, I felt like. So anyways, so yeah, Guardians, we did not get the song that we wanted, but it was, I mean, it's always great to get on that ride. I wish I could get on it more often. Like, I do it like 5 times in one day. But it was a good experience. It just wasn't, we got conga.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like that should be on that ride. I don't know, maybe I'm just weird, but I didn't really care for the song. But obviously, Guardians.
The ride's fun.
It's Guardians. Like, it's really cool. You should do it if you haven't. And if you have, you know that you should do it again. So, and then after that, I think we were kind of more leaning to go to the World Showcase. Spaceship Earth was still down, so we did World Showcase stuff. We stopped at a couple of the food spots. And then I think we ended up, after we did some food spots, we did end up doing Spaceship Earth. I think it came back up. It opened back up.
Not for long.
So crazy. Yeah, we probably made it over 30 minutes after it opened back up, and we actually waited in a good 15 to 20 minute line to get in there, but it was worth it. We love Spaceship Earth, and it was really nice to be able to get on that ride this trip. So we did that, and then we went back to the World Showcase.
Yeah, we just really spent a lot of time in each pavilion, because normally, I mean, we always spend time in the pavilion, but we never spend a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, you're just like go, trying to get the next food item or get on the next ride, and we just try to take it super like leisurely around. We didn't spend any time in France because France is just crazy right now because of the Ratatouille. We never ended up, we wanted to get on it. I did. Wade doesn't really care for the ride because of the glasses, but we really wanted to get on it, but we didn't end up doing it because it just never was worked out, I guess. Yeah. Germany during Christmas time is beautiful. Like, it's really nice. That's probably my favorite decorated pavilion during Christmas. Yeah.
But they didn't have the clock shop open, which I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know if that was just like that day or something they're doing right now. We didn't ask. Yeah, so
we just kept on booking it.
Yeah, so but we did get some treats out of the caramel couche bakery, so that's always a win. And then yeah, we just explored. We grabbed some food. We did get some food from the pizza window, and of course, like snacking and eating different foods from around the countries and the booths. And then, oh yeah, we did do 3 Caballeros. Yeah.
Leaving the pavilions.
Yeah, and then
we hit up Living with the Land one last time
at
night.
It was decorated with Christmas stuff, and it was just so pretty. I'm glad we did it at night because it was so pretty at night.
It hits different.
Yeah, it really does. If you would have to do it day versus night, do it at night, especially with the Christmas stuff. But I will say there's been times where we walked over there an hour before the park closed or whatever, and it's not open. So like I don't know if they randomly close it down, but we got lucky that night because we got on it one more time.
Yeah. And then we had hoped to ride Spaceship Earth, but it was shut down again. So then I think we just decided to leave at that point. Yeah,
so we got tired. So we were going to do the fireworks because Harmonious, we have only watched it the first night it came out. We watched it on a live stream. And we have not watched it we have not watched it in person at all. Like, we're always just doing something else while we're in Epcot since it's came out. And then we were going to do it this night, but we were just so tired, like just exhausted that we could not stay another hour. So anyways, even though it's going to be gone by the time we're back in Epcot, they're changing the show again, which is crazy. The barges, I think, are going to be gone, but I really wanted to see that show in person. But then we ended up watching the Beacons of Magic on Spaceship Earth right before we left. So we hung out and watched a good bit of that. I don't think we watched the whole thing, but we watched a good bit of that.
Yeah.
And then we hightailed it out of the park and called it a night. So we had to walk back to our resort. So we got the bus to the like the lobby main entrance area. We got off of there. We probably could have gotten another bus to the Meadows and gotten us closer to our campsite, but we ended up just walking the mile. It was freezing cold, and getting back to our campsite, and we went to sleep like
immediately
right away. And then the next morning, I was supposed to run 13 miles, but we were so exhausted. It was so cold, and we had to pack up our tent and then drive 12 hours to go home. We just didn't. So when we packed up our tent, though, we did go to the settlement and got breakfast.
We walked and got us
we
breakfast
walked, which
coffee.
was a really, really nice walk.
Yeah, it was.
We walked and just enjoyed the walk and got us some breakfast, got us some coffee, and then went back to our campsite, said goodbye, and we headed on out of Florida. So that was our trip. We had so much fun. Like, we have been dreaming about just doing more of a resort stay for a really long time. And this gave us the opportunity to tent camp and do a resort stay, stay somewhere we've never stayed, do some things that we've never done, eat some places that we've never eaten at, and just kind of like have a more relaxing trip. We did do like a full day of Epcot, and it was kind of exhausting, and we are so glad we only did one park for this trip, but we really enjoyed it. So yeah. Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. If you were ever thought about going to Fort Wilderness Campground and kind of just up in the air, I'd just do it.
Just do it.
It's so much fun.
If you have any questions, let us know. If we missed something or we failed to mention something, just ask us in the comments. We'd be glad to share any information that we have. Thank you guys for following along, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.